So in today's video, I'll be showing you how to unbox and set up the Fitbit Inspire 3 activity tracker. And if you're looking to buy one of these Fitbit Inspire 3s, I'll leave a link right below the video, so feel free to check that out. And if you have any other comments or questions regarding the setup, please leave me a comment right below the video. And obviously the first step in the process is to open up the outer packaging and access the Fitbit itself. So I've removed the outer packaging and now I can actually see the Fitbit itself. So I'm going to pull this shelf out and then I'm going to remove the activity tracker itself by pulling it out. Let's see what else is in here. You have an additional long strap, which is in addition to the regular strap, which is already installed on the Fitbit. And you also have the charger itself, which is a USB-A type charger. And you also have a few other pieces of documentation in the box. Again, not very useful, but if you absolutely want to read through it, it's there for you. Now, the first thing I'm going to need to do is charge the Fitbit. And to do that, the first step is to just remove this plastic protective covering. Let's peel that off and let's open up the band, and that exposes the contacts for charging. Now, something to note about the provided charger, this is a USB style charger with about a foot length of wire. It's fairly short, but it will plug into something like a laptop USB port or a desktop USB port. Now, in my case, I have one of these super useful power strips with USB ports on the side. And if you're looking to buy one of these, I'll leave a link right below the video. Super helpful to have around the house. So I've plugged it into a USB port on that power strip. And to begin charging, you're going to match the electronic contacts on the charger, which is those two brass spots on the bottom, to those contacts on the bottom of the Fitbit. You're going to match those up, push it in till it clips into place like that. And you'll notice once it starts charging, it will display a message on screen that shows the percentage of charge. And for some reason, this is completely discharged. It is at 9% charge. So I'm going to let it charge up to full charge. And it seems to be charging much faster than the manual indicated. In just a few minutes of plugging it into a 2.4 amp 5 volt port on my power strip, it's charged up to about 43%. And it seems to be rising pretty quickly. So hopefully it shouldn't take that long, but we have a few things to handle in the meanwhile while it charges up. Now in this video, I'll be showing you how to set it up using an iPhone, but the procedure is pretty much identical even if you're using Android. Now the major difference is if you're using an iPhone like I am, you'd go into the App Store and search for the Fitbit app and then tap Get and then install that app. Now, if you're on an Android device, the procedure is pretty much identical. You would just go into the Play Store and search for the Fitbit app and then do the same thing, tap install. And the rest of the setup process, whether you're on Android or iOS, is pretty much identical, so follow along. So the Fitbit app has completed its installation process on my phone. I'm going to tap open and then it lets you know that Fitbit would like to use Bluetooth. Hit OK. And then it asks you whether you'd like to sign in with Google or sign in with Fitbit. Now, in my case, I don't have a Fitbit account. I could always sign in with Google, and that's probably the easiest step for most people. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, if you do prefer to keep your Fitbit kind of separate, you can always sign in with Fitbit and create a Fitbit account. So you could tap that. But for most people, the easiest way is probably just to sign in with Google, since Fitbit is now a Google company. So tap sign in with Google, and I've selected the Google account that I want that's already on my phone and then tap continue. And then it lets you know that you are new to Fitbit. Obviously, if you've used a Fitbit device before and have a Fitbit account, you won't see this, but this is assuming you're a first-time Fitbit user. So I'm going to continue as new user, and then you're going to have to enter your basic information, your weight, for example. Now you can choose to do that in kilograms or pounds, depending on what unit you're used to. I'm going to do that in kilograms. So I've put in my basic information, which is my weight, my height, and my sex. And then I'm going to tap save and continue. And then it gives you a privacy warning and tells you about what data is being collected and how it is being monitored. I'm going to go down and then I'm going to consent to both of these because there's no other way to move forward, and then tap agree and continue. And then it asks you whether you'd like to be sent notifications. In my case, I'm not going to allow this. I'm just going to say don't allow, but it's entirely up to you. And then tap continue. And then it asks you whether you'd like to share your data for research purposes with Fitbit. This is entirely up to you. In my case, I'm going to say no thanks. And then it wants to know if you'd like to be emailed with updates and notifications from from Fitbit. Again, entirely your choice. I'm going to decline all of these. I just don't need any new junk mail, and then tap save. And now it's time to select our device, which in our case is the Inspire 3. Tap that and then tap set up. And then it asks you whether you'd like to connect the Fitbit Inspire 3 to the Fitbit app. Scroll all the way down and then tap agree. And then it lets you know that your device should be charging, which is what we've already done. So I'm going to tap next. And then it says that it is searching for Inspire 3. And it lets you know that it has found your device. And then it asks you to enter the 4 digits, which should be now visible on your device's display. So if you grab your device, you'll see that there is a 4-digit code being displayed on screen. Let's enter that into the app. And then it lets you know that it is connecting to the Fitbit. And then my phone is asking me whether I'd like to pair the Inspire 3 to my phone using Bluetooth. I'm going to tap pair. And then it displays a message which asks whether I'd like to allow my Inspire 3 to receive iPhone notifications. Now this is again entirely up to you. In my case, I find it to be distracting, especially on such a small screen. I'm going to tap don't allow. And then it wants to know if I'd like to protect my device by purchasing a protection plan. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tap not now. And then it lets me know that there is an update. Obviously, this may vary in case your device already has the latest firmware running. I'm going to tap update now. And once it's done with the update, it will bring you to this home page of the app that shows you all the data that is being synced to the app from your Fitbit device. Now, the only additional bit of setup that I recommend doing before you actually tie the Fitbit on your hand is to go into your settings, tap that little settings icon up there, and then go into your settings. And then down here, it says Inspire 3, which is your device. Tap on that. And then I would tap on the wrist. Now, this is dependent on what wrist you plan to tie it to. If you plan to tie it to the hand with which you typically write and do stuff, that is your dominant arm. Most people tend to tie it on their non-dominant arm. For example, I'm right-handed and I plan to tie it on my left wrist. So I would select non-dominant in my case. But if you do plan to tie it on your dominant hand or the hand you use the most, make sure to select dominant as the option. But for most people, the option is going to be non-dominant. You can also choose your watch face by tapping on gallery, and then it'll show you the current watch face. And you have quite a few options in terms of watch faces to choose from. So I can choose this classic one, tap on that, and then tap install, and that will then install on your Fitbit. And you'll notice that the watch face that we just selected has been installed on your watch. And that pretty much completes all the setup you need to do to get your Fitbit Inspire 3 up and running. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and please also consider subscribing to my channel for more reviews, unboxings, and how-to videos. And if you have any questions regarding the setup or anything related to the Fitbit, leave me a comment right below the video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.